Welcome back to Villain Review, and today we have another episode. Today we'll be looking at Titan from the 2010 film Megamind. For those who don't know, Megamind is an animated film and made by Dreamworks and stars Will Ferrell, Brad Pitt, Tina Fey, and Jonah Hill. This movie isn't the most popular Dreamworks film out there, but does that mean the villain has nothing to offer? Let's find out. The Titan's real name is Hal Stewart, and at first he isn't really a bad guy. Hal is the cameraman to Roxanne Ritchie, who serves as the damsel in distress for the city's Superman figure Metro Man. Roxanne is always getting kidnapped by Megamind, and she's always saved by Metro Man in the end. It's kind of like their routine. This leads to Roxanne and Metro Man having a seemingly romantic relationship, with Roxanne always giving her thanks and affection to the man who saves her. This is great for Roxanne, but pretty bad for Hal, who also has feelings for Roxanne. In the beginning of the film, we see Hal try to ask her out, but her attention is always geared towards Metro Man. Luckily, Metro Man retires and his arch-enemy Megamind needs a new hero to go up against. Megamind decides to make a new hero to face him and ends up giving Hal all the powers of Metro Man. When his advances on Roxanne go bad, he doesn't get it. He has the powers he thought she was interested in, but she doesn't feel the same way that he does. Fueled by anger and the ideas that it is more fun to be bad, Hal turns into Titan and goes full ballistic, terrorizing the city. The interesting thing about Titan is that he is seemingly two different characters. You have the nerdy Hal, and then you have the power-hungry Titan. The nice thing about this is the transition from Hal to Titan feels natural. When we see Hal in the beginning, you might not think he's going to be important. You just might think he's a side character in the background. However, if you pay attention to him, you can tell that there are early signs of Titan inside. That makes it so believable when he turns into the big bad guy of the film, and when he does, you can still see signs of Hal inside. Even when he has all the powers of Metro Man, he still runs when he thinks Metro Man is back, a clear sign of the nerdy Hal being easily scared. Titan is played by Jonah Hill, who gives a great performance. It helps that Jonah is often seen as the nerdy kind of character, kind of similar to Hal in the beginning. But when he turns into Titan, Jonah brings his A-game and is as convincing of a villain as he is a nerd. Another thing I like about Titan is that you can even sympathize him, which is good for any villain. That brings me to my favorite Titan scene. So this scene, in my opinion, is a really good scene. The best Titan scene out there is the one where he confronts Roxanne for the first time once he has his powers. He flies to her apartment and is clearly so excited for the occasion. He wastes no time in picking her up and showing her what he can do with his powers. Everything he does in this scene is fantastic and romantic from his point of view, but we can tell that it's really not. It's dangerous, and Roxanne clearly doesn't like it. He eventually reveals himself to be Hal and makes his advances really clear. We see Roxanne reject him, and Hal doesn't get it. And now that he has powers, she should love him just because he's similar to Metro Man. You can tell in his voice that he's crushed, and in this scene in particular, Jonah Hill gives a wonderful performance. It's a tragic scene for his character, and it makes us feel bad for him. This scene also serves as a perfect segue into his character starting to turn into the true villain.
Why, Hal?
This
Just
isn't
take a deep
right.
breath and listen
You're
to me for a
supposed to
moment.
be with me.
I'm trying to warn you, Hal.
It's Titan.
In conclusion, I love Titan. He's funny, dynamic, and some may even feel bad for him. He's such a good villain because he kind of dismantles the trope of all people who get powers being good. There are bad people out there, and they might not even be bad at first, but once they get powers, they don't do good with them. A lot of people, I feel like, can turn into a Titan if they actually got superpowers. I didn't even mention that he works as a great counter to Megamind, who is a villain who wants to be good, and Titan's kind of a hero who really wants to be bad. The performance and writing is great, and he provides a natural shift in character that makes complete sense. Titan gets a 9. Thanks so much for watching, and I highly recommend giving Megamind a watch. It's super underrated, and I think that it's just as good as any other Dreamworks film. Thanks so much for watching, and comment below what villains I should review next. Cool, awesome, sweat.